Muscle cars are one of the best innovations in automobile history. While legendary muscle cars like the Ford Mustang and Chevrolet Camaro will still steal the spotlight, some have faded from our memories. I guess sometimes even the best can be forgotten. Can you name a muscle car that was once a household name but now barely gets a mention? You'll see plenty of them in this video. These forgotten gems are not just cars but stories of speed, style, and rebellion. If you feel the need for speed, then you need to check out these forgotten powerhouses. Because in this video, we'll take a trip down memory lane and look at the 15 forgotten muscle cars that deserve a comeback. Ever wonder how and when the first muscle car was invented? Most people think the first muscle car was invented when Pontiac decided to stuff a powerful engine into a Le Mans and call it a GTO in 1964. However, that is not true. Although the 64 GTO started the muscle trend, the 1949 Oldsmobile Rocket 88 is credited as the first muscle car in history. That's right. People forget that this is the first muscle car ever. Oldsmobile had the idea to put the big 304 Ci V8 from sedans to smaller coupes. This gave birth to the Rocket 88. This old muscle car could produce 135 horsepower and 263 pound-feet of torque. The Rocket 88 used to dominate NASCAR tracks from 1949 to 1952, making this car truly legendary and iconic. Unfortunately, this piece of classic muscle was forgotten when other big names started producing factory muscle cars. Even if it's forgotten, its legacy still lives on. Next up is the Buick GSX. Buick GSX was Buick's answer to the muscle car craze of the late 60s and early 70s. The GSX was equipped with a 360 horsepower 7.5-liter V8 that could also produce 510 pound-feet of torque. That's music to any car lover's ears. Make no mistake, this V8's engine was fast, making it an ideal muscle car. Buick just made 800 of these, making it very rare and valuable. This was also Buick's entry into the high-performance muscle car market, challenging big players like the Chevrolet Chevelle SS and Pontiac's GTO. Today, the Buick GSX is highly sought after by collectors for its rarity and performance. The title for the rarest Corvette belongs to the 1971 Corvette ZR1. This mean piece of machinery was built for use on the racetrack. The 1971 Corvette ZR1 was powered by a 5.7-liter naturally aspirated V8 that produced 255 horsepower and 488 Nm of torque. This track performance car was capable of doing 0 to 60 in 6.4 seconds. ZR1's development was influenced by Corvette's racing heritage, and its design aimed to bring some of that race-ready performance to the street. The model's biggest claim to fame, and the reason it's on this list, is that only 8 Corvette models were equipped with the ZR1 package in that year. That made it a very, very rare car to get your hands on. Even though it was rare and only made for a short time, the 1971 ZR1 helped pave the way for future high-performance Corvettes. Car enthusiasts still remember and value it for its important place in Corvette's performance history. Moving on to the next car, we've got the Pontiac Grand Prix Hurst SSJ. It was a limited edition muscle car produced in collaboration with a Hurst performance company. Featuring a powerful V8 engine and unique styling elements, the Grand Prix Hurst SSJ offered exceptional performance and exclusivity. I don't blame anyone if they forgot about this car, because just 400 units were ever produced, and it was not very popular back then, but today it's highly sought after by collectors. Now let's see what's under the hood. The SSJ had several options for the engine, and none more famous than the 400 CU and 6.6-liter V8, as we'll see in this video. This engine could produce 350 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. The SSJ is a true testament to Pontiac's innovative spirit during the muscle car era. Anyone who's seen the movie Cars is going to remember this vehicle. Have you ever wondered what the real-life version of this car is? It's none other than the 1970 Plymouth Superbird. With its most powerful 426 CU and 7.0-liter Hemi V8, it produced almost 425 horsepower. At one glance, we can understand that this car is actually unique. It has a nose cone and a massive rear wing that helps reduce lift and increase downforce, essential for high-speed racing. Speaking of racing, the Superbird was unforgiving on the track. It was part of the aero wars in NASCAR, going head-to-head with cars like the Ford Torino and the Chevrolet Monte Carlo, and its unique design brought it a lot of success on the racetrack. The car may be forgotten, but it's not dead yet. It's a legendary piece of automotive history that combines innovative design, powerful performance, and cultural significance. At the 10th spot, we've got the legendary car that was forgotten, none other than the Chevy Laguna S-3. The Laguna S-3 was known for its unique colonnade styling with a sleek fastback rear design. It was designed to look sporty and perform well, but with a greater focus on luxury and comfort compared to the SS. It was made in very limited numbers, which makes it a desirable car to own. The 1976 model had a 5.7-liter V8, producing about 155 to 175 horsepower due to stricter emissions regulations. It's impossible to forget this car because it was an icon during the muscle car era. With its sleek look and balance in comfort and performance, made it a track and everyday car. It's a unique blend of style, power, and cultural significance that makes it an important model for collectors and enthusiasts alike. Moving on, we have the 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona. The 1969 Charger Daytona is one of the most famous muscle cars ever made. Only 505 of these were ever produced, making it a sought-after collector's item. Incorporated in both road and NASCAR design, the Daytona was developed to assist Dodge to contend for high-velocity races, especially the Daytona 500 races. Back in 1969, it cost $3,860. This car came with two engine options. There were two models, the mighty 426 Hemi with 425 horsepower and the 440 Magnum with 375 horsepower. On racetrack, the tuned version of the Daytona was capable of reaching a speed above 200 miles an hour, making it one of the fastest cars at the time. In fact, it held the record for becoming the first NASCAR car to ever exceed 200 miles an hour, a record set by Buddy Baker in 1970. Called one of the Winged Warriors because of its rear wing and innovative body kit, the Daytona was not only fast, but also looked different, at least for the standards at the time. It's been considered together with such fabulous beasts as the Plymouth Superbird and the Ford Torino Talladega as one of the most aero race-oriented cars of the period. Although it's not as successful as the competition, it was really fast. But then Daytona banned all their high-speed aero cars, and that ended the racing career of the Dodge Daytona. Some cars may appear as everyday normal cars, but might be packing some serious power. The Pontiac 1971 GT-37 is a perfect example of a sleeper muscle car. Don't let that sweet look get to you, because under the hood was a base 350 cubic inch, 5.8-liter V8 rated to 250 horsepower, and a pair of 400 cubic inch 6.6-liter mills. The latter produced 265 horsepower in the two-barrel setup and exactly 300 HP when fitted with a 4-barrel carburetor. Maybe this is why it's called a high-performance vehicle on a low-lead diet. The Pontiac GT-37 was an underestimated powerhouse with incredible horsepower, hidden beneath a humble exterior. It was one of the few sleeper muscle cars of its time which had an acceleration of 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds, similar to that of the 1962 Pontiac Catalina. At the 7th spot, we've got the 1969 Chevrolet Camaro COPO. Every American muscle enthusiast must have heard about this car. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro COPO is one of the most iconic muscle cars, known for its exceptional performance and rarity. But that's not the only fascinating thing about this car. It's got a 427 cubic inch 7.0-liter V8 engine that produces 425 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. This also comes in a smaller 396 cubic inch V8, but the 427 is the most sought after and powerful engine option. It can go from 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds and could complete a quarter mile in about 13 seconds. The 1969 Camaro features a classic muscle car design with a long hood and short rear deck. The COPO is well loved by collectors and car fans because it was produced in small numbers and offers impressive performance. Its unassuming look, paired with a powerful 427 engine, made it a tough competitor on the drag strip and a true symbol of the muscle car era. There was a time when people wanted high-performance cars for everyday use. And then the 1966 Plymouth Belvedere Satellite was the perfect choice. The Satellite was one of the first muscle cars that combined performance with everyday use, and this shift paved the way for future muscle cars to do the same without breaking the bank. Want to know what powered this car? Although the Satellite was available in multiple engine options, the most powerful one was the 426 cubic inch 7.0-liter Hemi V8 that produced a whopping 425 horsepower, and the smallest engine was a 318 cubic inch 5.2-liter V8 that delivered 230 horsepower. Hey, remember, it was also meant for everyday use, so it's not actually that bad. Due to its limited production and historical significance, it remains a sought-after model among collectors. Overall, the 1966 Plymouth Belvedere Satellite is a remarkable representation of the muscle car era, but sadly, it's faded from people's memories. Let's accelerate to our next car, and it's the legendary 1965 Pontiac Catalina 2+2. By the mid-1960s, everyone was offering bucket seats, center consoles, and floor shifters, but Pontiac took things to another level with the Catalina 2+2. In 1964, the 2+2 package debuted as an exciting option for the Catalina. For just $291, buyers could upgrade to a powerful 389 V8 engine, churning out between 267 and 283 horsepower. The package also adds sporty features like bucket seats, a center console, and unique badges. But in 1965, things got even more exciting when Pontiac made the massive 421 V8 engine standard in the 2+2. This model had upgraded suspension, performance axles, and even chrome engine parts. But that's not all. It could be upgraded even more for $4,000, which gave the car a monstrous tri-power 421 high-output engine capable of cruising 95 miles an hour in a quarter-mile run. What a car it was, but its prime time's over, and now very few seem to remember this car. Isn't the first brand name that comes to mind when most people think about muscle cars? Even though they did build some cool ones, it was overshadowed by other prominent muscle cars like the Ford Mustang and Chevrolet Camaro. For one shining moment, however, in 1964, the Mercury Comet Cyclone GT was the fastest thing in the entire Ford Lincoln Mercury family. How can it not be when it's powered by a 427 cubic inch V8 that delivers 425 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque? The Cyclone GT was built with racing in mind and found success on the track, contributing to its popularity and reputation. The Cyclone GT was one of the first cars to embrace the muscle car philosophy, focusing on performance in a compact package. The 1964 Mercury Comet Cyclone GT stands as a significant player in the muscle car landscape. But as time passed, this beautiful machine was forgotten by many. Landing on number 3, we've got the 1964 Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt, aka the God of Thunder. There was growing popularity in drag races and muscle cars in the 60s, and Ford didn't want to be left out, so they designed the Thunderbolt as a performance vehicle that could compete in the National Hot Rod Association events. Powered by a 427 cubic inch 7.0-liter V8 that produced 425 horsepower, it had a very successful run in the drag racing strips, which was a huge win for Ford. In all sense, Ford gave a scare to Chevy when it launched the Thunderbolt. And to make things even more interesting, Ford just made over 100 units of these. Due to limited production and racing pedigree, the Thunderbolt's become a highly sought-after collector's item, symbolizing the golden age of American muscle cars. Now we know why it's called the God of Thunder. Moving on to the second last car on our list, it's the 1963 Chevrolet Impala Sports Coupe Z11. The Z11 package was designed primarily for drag racing, making it a standout in Chevrolet's lineup. It helped establish the Impala as a formidable competitor on the drag strip. This car really proved that Chevy meant business and it was to be taken seriously. Just like the Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt, the Z11 package was created in response to the growing interest in performance vehicles and drag racing. A 427 cubic inch 7.0-liter V8 engine that was the engine that was powering this race car and produced a staggering 425 horsepower, which was enough to conquer drag strips and the hearts of people. The Impala Z11 became a key part of the muscle car movement in the 60s, influencing future models and shaping American performance cars. Its success on the drag strip helped boost Chevy's reputation in racing and inspired a whole generation of high-performance vehicles. But like every car on our list, its prominence fades after the 80s and 90s, when more powerful and faster muscle cars took over. And at the number 1 spot of the 15 forgotten muscle cars, we've got the 1957 AMC Rambler Rebel. The Rebel is a unique and notable vehicle in American automotive history, known for its combination of style and performance and innovation. Often considered one of the first muscle cars, blending a family car's practicality with sporty performance features. Its features include a 327 cubic inch 5.4-liter V8 that delivers 255 horsepower, heavy-duty suspension, and a dual exhaust system that helps enhance power. It also had racing success, which enhanced AMC's reputation and also proved that a compact car could perform well on the track. The 1957 AMC Rambler Rebel is an important piece of automotive history. With its powerful engine, distinct design, and role as an early muscle car, it continues to capture the interest of collectors and enthusiasts. Forgotten it may be, but the market left behind is too great to be wiped off history. And there you have it, 15 forgotten muscle cars that once roared through the streets. Are there any cars you think we missed? And which ones of these do you still remember? Let us know down there in the comments what your thoughts are. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and be sure you subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Until the next video, bye.